Hey guys, Cam for 15 back at it with another video for you guys, back on Cam for 15 Talk Sports. And here to talk more Clippers basketball because why not? Obviously this news is a little later because one, I had work and I was busy throughout the day, so I couldn't really talk about it off the kilt. And plus it's like 10:13 and I want to go to sleep now after playing some PlayStation 5. So I'm just gonna get this video out the way and just talk about it. The Clippers made a move in the offseason, one of their first domino moves that they made, and that is the fact that the Clippers have agreed to terms and got a contract extension with their head coach Ty Lue on a 5-year contract worth basically 70 million. Basically, he's one of the highest paid coaches in the league. This keeps him with the Clippers, and yeah. So obviously, what are my thoughts on the move? If you've seen any of my Clipper videos in terms of what I've recently been posting and things like that, when it comes to Clippers basketball, you know I'm not a Ty Lue guy. If you follow me on social media, I am not a Ty Lue guy. I do not like Ty Lue. I don't think he's that good of a coach, in my honest opinion. I think he's fine for what it's worth, but I don't think really to truthfully, to be honest, I think we can completely get somebody else and we can still finish the exact same way. Now, to his defense, he hasn't had a healthy roster really since 2021, but even then that was still somewhat not healthy because really Kawhi Leonard got hurt in the second round and then what happened the rest of the way. But you can obviously make the case, well, when the team's fully healthy, his coaching issues are neglected and they're not much of a big problem when they're healthy and they're playing well. Personally, yeah, that makes a good point. Personally, I'm more inclined to think and just want to go a different direction, but it is what it is. Can't really do nothing about it. I don't like the fact that they gave him a contract extension because personally, if you ask me, what has he done recently to even earn a contract extension? Yes, he's overexceeded the fact that, okay, he's dealt with the injuries the best way he could as a coach could and overcame that and did the best he could with what he had in terms of availability. But regardless, some of the puzzling decisions, some of the offensive sets, just some of the defensive strategies too, in some instances as well. It just leaves me scratching my head of like, okay, why'd we pay this guy? Why'd we give this guy this contract extension? Again, I still further get the onus of the fact that the Clippers only signed this contract extension for Ty Lue because they're afraid of him potentially going to the fucking Lakers. Plain and simple. But that's just my opinion. I don't think he's that good of a coach. He's solid, but do I think he is that great as everybody proclaims him in the media to be that great? No, I don't believe that. And if you're a Clipper fan and you feel otherwise, and you just take a hard disagreement, thinking like, okay, who do you think who will you take better or over Ty Lue? I'll take any other coach over Ty Lue that's available right now. Shit, I'd take Kenny Atkinson over Ty Lue right now. Same Kenny Atkinson that was on his staff, the same Kenny Atkinson that ended up helping Ty Lue be able to basically get us to the Western Conference Finals. That's one coach I'll take over Ty Lue. You may think I'm sounding asinine, but I don't care. Like I said, I'm sick and tired of the same old stuff. And the fact is, the fact is this. I'm fine if Ty Lue is willing to do the right things. If he's willing to actually get in there, coach, and if he's really willing to get in there, actively promote the young players and play them and give them really big minutes, I'm fine with that. In terms of the fact, can he not be a guy that is going to have these conversations of sacrifice? But the moment we have one player bitching and complaining about playtime, he then gives up that whole notion about sacrifice, and then he makes somebody else sacrifice. So then that player can be all happy, aka PJ Tucker, aka Reggie Jackson, aka Marcus Morris. I need him to be the cutthroat coach where no nonsense, no nothing. But we'll see from that point on. Another thing that this just tells me, the fact that the Clippers just re-signed Ty Lue, it clearly goes to show, man. It seems like they must have made a decision on who they possibly want to keep for the long term, and that's clearly Ty Lue. Obviously, another thing is it clearly shows you that the team is clearly running it back. As stupid as that sounds, but that's what they're doing. They're going to basically run it back and they're going to do the whole, well, let's see if we can get through the whole thing again and make sure Kawhi gets through healthy. At this point, honestly, I was thinking to myself, you might as well just sit Kawhi down the entire first half of the season. And since there's so little games in the back half of the season, you might as well sit him all the way till the All-Star break. And then once the All-Star break ends, that's when you then play Kawhi. Honestly, I don't even give a shit anymore. The team won't probably care about where they seed anyways, now that it doesn't matter when their eyes really. And they're gonna look at what Dallas is doing and they'll be like, well, they were a fifth seed and they got all the way to the NBA finals. Well, who knows if they'll get to the NBA finals? They probably will, but at the end of the day, who knows? Minnesota could somehow pull off history. But you get my point. But anyways, um yeah. This also signifies to me, other than the run it back thing, if it definitely feels like, okay, Lawrence Frank, it's time to make it or break it. I hope this is Lawrence Frank's last year as Clippers president of basketball ops. Again, I actually pre-recorded another video talking about the Clippers potentially wanting to acquire are interested in acquiring Chris Paul or Kyle Lowry. That video will probably go up maybe sometime this weekend. But regardless of the fact, Lawrence Frank has a lot of big shoes to fill because really, as much as I don't like Ty, I can't blame everything on Ty Lue. It's the fact that he's got to deal with a goddamn poor, freaking terrible constructed roster, to be honest. And that all falls on the feet of Lawrence Frank. Lawrence Frank was the main person that keeps assembling this old ass roster and basically telling Ty Lue, okay, run with it. Lawrence Frank is the guy that wants to have wing stops, but then he gives in and caves into the coach's demands about getting goddamn guards. He's also the same guy that made all these bumbling mistakes when it comes to signing players or trading for players or doing all these other crap. Obviously, like one of the most notorious ones is the John Wall situation, where you sign John Wall, but you pass on Isaiah Hartenstein. And since then, it's been a rotation, basically just musical chairs when it comes to the backup center position. When you could have had a good, solid, you know, backup to Zubac and Isaiah Hartenstein. And the worst part is we never got to see Isaiah Hartenstein alongside Kawhi or freaking Paul George. As much as I don't like Paul George at this current point in time, but you get that point. They never played alongside them. We wouldn't know how they play. He probably would have played really damn good. You know? Lawrence Frank is the guy that he was basically anti-Westbrook. What did this mother effer do? Ty and Paul George cry for fucking Westbrook. Instead of going out there and getting a point guard of a need, which, to be honest, I think at that time we could have honestly, yeah, I think at that time we could have traded for freaking, yeah, at that time we could have traded for Kyrie. There, that was probably the point guard that freaking Lawrence Frank was looking for. Kyrie Irving, not Russell Westbrook, but he gave in. So I feel like this is also a proven thing in terms of, Lawrence Frank needing to do what he says he needs to do in these press conferences. And also, too, it also feels like, okay, Lawrence Frank needs to get his shit together. And maybe, hopefully, I guess for their sake, Lawrence Frank and Ty Lue can finally are like in agreement on something and they actually can like work together because it started really 2 years ago. There was clear cut dissension between those two, and it was clear cut that one side had a complete vision for the team, the other side had a different vision, and they were butting heads, and they never looked like they seemed to be eye to eye on things as of late. So hopefully they fix their issues, but regardless. I think I said at the end of the freaking season video with when it comes to Clippers, if you decide to keep one, the other one's got to go. It's plain and simple. If the Clippers are gonna keep Ty Lue, fine, keep Ty. Excuse me, even though I don't agree with it. I don't agree with the re-signing of Ty Lue. If you're going to keep Ty Lue, fine. Get rid of the other loser because he's a bumbling idiot. And if anything, I would say Lawrence Frank is more of the bumbling idiot than Ty right now. I thought Ty this past season, there was like the stretch we were on winning ball games, we were good. I had no issue with Ty. And then it's until we started falling off a damn cliff is when I started to have my issues and started to have my problems with Ty Lue again. But then I also had my issues with freaking Lawrence Frank not making any damn moves at the trade deadline to try to improve the damn team. Again, like I said in my end of the season video, I really do hope out of anybody that gets off my goddamn team is Lawrence Frank. And hopefully Steve Ballmer is the guy that makes it known to Lawrence Frank, listen, dude, I'm giving you one more year. If you can't do anything, your ass is gone. Ballmer likes freaking Ty Lue, and plus he wasn't going to let Ty Lue go to the Lakers. So there's that. So Ty Lue will be staying in with the Clippers for the foreseeable future, as much as to my dismay, it is what it is. And to much my dismay, it seems like the Clippers going to be running it back because then you added on the fact, well, it seems like they want to re-sign Paul George and James Harden. I'm fine if James Harden comes back to an extent, but Paul George, I don't want his ass on my team anymore. I'm done with Paul George. I have a Paul George jersey, and I'm literally on the brink of probably burning that shit. And mind you, that was a Paul George jersey I just got this year because at crypto, they were selling the damn jerseys off at a discounted price. My ass wants to actually burn that jersey now because of the patheticness that is Paul George. And he better not damn near. And this will be a mistake if Lawrence Frank ends up even thinking about giving this guy the max. If he gives him the max contract, I'm done. I'm gonna probably go to the first game and into it and never go again. That's how much I'm sick and tired, and that's how much I want Paul George off my goddamn team. I won't even. I will boycott the goddamn Clippers until he's off my team. Do not offer him the max. Let his ass walk for nothing. If anything, you find a way. If you want to keep him so bad, tell him he can get the hometown goddamn discount. I don't want Paul George on my team. Paul George can kick rocks. He's more worried about podcast P than more worried about trying to bring this organization a gosh darn championship. Anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. If you guys like the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on the Clippers re-signing Ty Lue. Continue to be their head coach. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Are you indifferent about it? Bunch of things like that. Hit that subscribe button if you want to get more Kane for 15 Talk sports content or any more Clippers content or any other sports content that I'm talking about on the channel. So then, guys, peace.